welcome all to the Illusive Reality. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your host, Nontokozo Ninela, and today we will be taking an interesting deep dive into the world of fashion and music. Now, we have a lot in store for you all this evening, such as a behind-the-scenes experience into the lives of sophisticated fashion designer Duke and Miss South African 2022 finalist model Thandi Molepo, an eye-opening interview with upcoming artist Jagger The Paradox, who will then close the show with a debut of his single, Reality. Following a demonstration by fashion influencer Fundisiwe, where she will share her insight on different trends in fashion. Don't go anywhere, as we are about to enter through the doorstep into who I believe has the potential of being our future Miss Universe, Thandi Molepo.
Firstly, there's a misconception on how people see us, as models. They expect us to be like always on point, always in heels, always in designer shoes, designer bags and clothes.
Necessarily, me being a model, I need to realize I'm not going to be like a normal human being where I can just chill out and just be however, I guess, in the places I go. So I have to fully capture, I think, my model self everywhere I go, because if I don't, then, if that becomes a realization, it's like I'm jeopardizing whoever I'm working with or for.
First of all, we are all quote-unquote good-looking individuals stuffed in a room with high-end garments of like different specific body sizes and shapes, So you might think you fit the bill, but there can be someone who looks more or less like you who fits the bill more, which basically creates a sense of imperfection,
I had a really hard time thinking that I was ugly. It was really bad. That I never went out of the house, never chilled with anyone. I always thought the most beautiful people in this world were the light-skinned ones.
I need to realize that not all people are going to necessarily look at me in an, admiring point of view, but knowing that I'm not necessarily pleasing to the eye to everyone. So there really does come those moments of kind of feeling, not wanting to go on the runway or not wanting to work.
It's also kind of hard having to understand that what they're looking for isn't exactly, relative to who you are. It's more of a thing of, oh, we need a 6 foot black, light-skinned male for a specific campaign. And it's not because there's anything special about you, you just, fit the description.
Once I enter a competition, I make sure that I am there to be outstanding. I make sure that I am there to leave a mark in one's life, especially people, young ladies, young girls that look up to me. I ensure that I blow their mind away, because it's all about creativity. You will not lose being the best if you are so creative in everything that you do, and you make sure that you're changing your style. Remember to leave a mark in one's life.
Now that we have found out what it's like to be a model, now let us have a chat with an upcoming artist, Jagger The Paradox. Now, as you all can see, I am not seated alone here on set. With me, as I've mentioned earlier on, is a man who has ear for music and an eye for fashion, the extraordinary Jagger The Paradox. Welcome to the show, Mr. Jagger. Now, I would like to know, who is Jagger The Paradox?
Well, Jagger The Paradox is a young boy from his city who he doesn't really show anything but his city life. Yeah, that's what he appreciates and lives by.
Okay, so what defines your music persona?
I could say my everyday life, basically anything in which I am associated with or I take part in from day in and day out, that definitely affects my music persona.
Okay, so when you grow up in a childhood, basically, you always have someone that you look up to and someone who inspires you. So I would like to know who or what inspired you to become an artist?
I could say mainly my mother and my favorite musician at the time, Jagger. Those are definitely two of my biggest influences.
Jagger The Paradox.
Yes.
That's your stage name, right? So what inspired your stage name, and is there any meaning behind the name itself?
Yes. What inspired my stage name was a conversation between me and my ex-girlfriend at the time, of which we just had a discussion about who I am as a person and what I like. But after a while, it obviously grew into me, you know, having my own specific idea of myself, of which was the paradox. So I just mixed that up and created Jagger The Paradox altogether.
Interesting. So what is your creative process?
My creative process, I will have to give that to the time of the essence, basically. You know, if I'm in studio or in any recording space at that, then whatever comes into my spectrum at the time, that's definitely how I free flow and just, you know, contribute to anything that I'm making at the time.
Well, I have to say you look absolutely amazing in that outfit, Mr. Jagger. Now, I would like to know, how does your scent of music influence the way you dress?
Personally, I would like to mention, I guess it's just a waking day type of thing. Like whenever it is I wake up, whatever I listen to first in the morning or whatever is in my head before I even do wake up, that already is just a sound or something that contributes to how I may dress for the rest of the day. So,
amazing. Yeah. So what do you think you can add to the South African music sense?
I feel like I can add a lot of abstract sounds, not which, you know, anyone is used to here in South Africa, especially when it goes to show for the music that I make, as well as, you know, just me being specifically, you know, and unapologetically myself. I feel like that's something no one really contributes in the South African music industry, so I could do that.
Well, there you have it, South Africa. That was Jagger The Paradox, our upcoming artist over there. We wish you all the best in your music industry and keep on raising those bars.
Of course.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, an insight into the life of Jagger The Paradox. Don't go anywhere, as we will be blessed with a performance from him as well. More on that later on. Now we are about to head over into the creative process of fashion influencer, Fundi.
Fashion is a form of self-expression. And if I'm supposed to give a trend report for 2022 and still be conscious of this fact, I'd have to mention a lot of trends. I can speak from the industry perspective, but ultimately, fashion is subjective. And it is relevant because of the people that continue to support it. If I were to encourage people to follow trends, I'd be feeding the monster that is fast fashion. Fast fashion are designs that move quickly from the catwalks in Fashion Week to stores, and they actively take advantage of trends. They're made from cheap, low-quality fabrics which have a negative impact on our environment. What I would rather focus on is the importance of sustainable fashion. Sustainability is the direction that we should all be moving towards. We all have the responsibility to practice sustainability, especially when it comes to the clothing that we buy. There are countless ways of practicing sustainability within fashion. For instance, if you own a pair of jeans that has a faulty zipper, don't throw the jean away, rather replace the zip. Another way is by buying second-hand clothing at a bowed-down boutique. Designers also play a huge role in sustainability. The designer responsible for the designs that you see behind me is a designer named Sandile Duke Dabezita. What he does is transforms existing garments into completely new designs. This is a more effective way for designers to create clothing. It's also a very cost-effective way. And the opposite of fast fashion is slow fashion. Big fashion brands are beginning to make use of this by producing classic timeless pieces that can also be wearable by different people of different sizes and body shapes. Fashion is becoming more inclusive and diverse. The rules that used to exist in fashion are now being challenged on a daily basis by bold individuals who aren't afraid to be themselves. Thank you for listening.
Now, y'all recall what it's like to be a fashion model via Thandi Molepo. Now we get to see through a door of what it's like to be a fashion designer.
Fashion is a form of expression, depending on the time, the event, and the place. I also believe that fashion is a form of showcasing your artistic side, and also can be used to send a message. The brand You Clothe Your Soul is a brand that I label it Afro-Funk, which is a mixture of two elements, the African elements and the more electro elements, which are more Western and stuff like that. The love of fashion was the motivation for me to start the brand, because that's how I started. It's not something that I grew up wishing or wanting to do. Business, me behind the brand, I need to respect my work. I need to put in the efforts that I know it deserves. So I wouldn't cheat myself by doing a shortcut. I'm inspired by fabrics. That's where my inspiration comes from, and then I also source according to what we're dealing with. It differs. If we're designing for a collection, you follow according to the trend focus. If you're designing for an event, you follow according to the theme. So it changes, it doesn't stay the same, but my process starts from selecting the fabrics and then deciding on the style. Style is something that you are born with. So the trends, they come and go, you just adapt, you take this and you mix with that, so the style stays the same. So that's how I see even my brand. It has a signature, even though I can show you different collections, but you will always find a signature that this is the You Clothe Your Soul brand. Making a special piece for a client, private client, first thing that I need to know is the occasion, and then I know what type of dress am I making, and then I need to understand my client. So each and every dress that I make for different designers must each have a sense of individuality. It must fit the client.
I've been wearing joke fashion for almost 2 years now. And you know, since my career lies in textile technology, I have the greatest interest in high quality fabrics and the best designs. So I told Joke, I'm going to a very special occasion. My sister's getting married, so I want you to design for me a very perfect dress.
It's very important to start the business because you are passionate about it, because it's not all glitz and glam like how it is shown. There is an element of hard work behind the glitz and glam.
Ladies and gentlemen, the performance you've been waiting for, the extravagant Jagger The Paradox!
Camera 2, slow dissolve. Beautiful, slower, slower.
PJ Jagger The Paradox.
Right to 3.
Motherfucker. Huh? Yep.
Lovely. 2, come back to the wide. 2, come back to the wide. Camera 1, give us the audience.
Cause if it's real in your chest, in your brain, just know it could be reality. It could be reality. It could be reality. It could be reality. You should be scared of your mind and your heart, dog. Cause if it's real.
Camera 2, I want you to zoom in whilst keeping the headroom even. camera on. 2, zoom out, quickly. Cut to camera 2.
Even got some help from a pill. X pills, E pills, just to say you can feel. Inhale, exhale, cause the shit for the thrill. Backpedal, overlapping, still stuck in the middle. Work hard, relax, still no ducking can spill. Still ducking for real. Still searching for meals, searching for opportunities that can make him fulfill. His life, their life, can't all be the same. May change, got changed, but we still be the same. Do good and get bad, even as far as we came. Go back and still have no one to blame but himself. I'm really glad that I can help, cause it's me versus me and referees the world. You should be scared of your mind and your heart, dog. Cause if it's real in your chest, in your brain, just know it could be reality. It could be reality. It could be reality.
Touch shot when he's on the
reality. You should be scared of your mind and your heart, dog. Cause if it's real in your chest, in your brain, just know it could be reality. It could be reality. It could be reality. It could be reality.
Zoom out. Camera 3, zoom out.
Leave it all for the God you believe in, cause most people really don't see the next season. And all my issues are the same as yours. Too real to deal with, so I choose to ignore. Too hard to feel real, so I smoke for the stress. Fuck with the next pretty girl, just so we can have sex. On to the next. By the time I send a selfish text, and that keeps me from worrying if I was the best part in my mind. I'm only getting better with time, and I am only human, so don't blow my high. Get by, go by, and be ready for more. Cause honestly, nobody knows what else in store. Of course, I really got a lot to bear, but I won't hibernate cause I have no fear. I stare right into the face of death and tell him that my soul is mine. He can have the flesh, it's alright. You should be scared of your mind and your heart, dog. Cause if it's real in your chest, in your brain, just know it could be reality. It could be reality. It could
1, 3 to follow the subject. That's 1.
It could be reality. You should be scared of your mind and your heart, dog. Cause if it's real in your chest, in your brain, just know it could be reality.
Make sure to keep the headroom.
It could be
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Okay,
Beautiful.
I'm happy with it.
And unfortunately, all good things come to an end. But I hope we were able to keep you entertained until this very far. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one.